Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Excited to join you guys for a live education on a topic that you guys asked for and that I am excited about. For the first time in ages, I'm excited to talk about this. And I don't want to carry on, but all of this research and all of this dedication to weight loss has got me really, really amped up. So you guys can ask questions down at the Q&A box, and I will probably address those at the end of our conversation. I'm really excited to bring some awesome information to the table. So let's get started. It looks like we have lots of you guys joining us. I'm so excited. Today we are covering weight loss. I brought in a bunch of notes because I wanted to stay on topic, but let me start with when I started CCN 15 years ago, one of my goals was to not work with weight loss. At that point, nutritionists were only resources for people that were seeking weight loss and wanting to lose weight. And so my rebellion against society, I guess you could say, was that I was not going to be a weight loss nutritionist. I was going to be performance-based, energy-based. But the thing was, 15 years ago, even then, now, this whole time, people still come to me for weight loss. And so I've evolved as a person and developed an approach to nurture this side of what people are hoping for from me. So today our topic of conversation is, I'm bringing it up because I don't want to miss it, why restrictive diets work quickly to lose weight but are incredibly unhealthy, the difference between losing water weight versus sustainable weight loss, the secret to sustainable weight loss, and it's not what you think, and how to uncover the root cause of weight gain. That part I am the most passionate about, and you will hear why. In fact, that's where I'm going to spend a good majority of this conversation, and something I've never really talked about in an open forum like this. So I can't wait for you guys to understand this better so that you can make plans for your own health in a more sustainable way. So I'm glad you're here. I'm excited to get started. So like I said, when I started 15 years ago, I was geared towards performance and people understanding that they could actually have better energy throughout the day if they could just comply with my nutrition philosophy. But as the years went on, I developed a better understanding of human physiology and human psychology and just human behavior. And I started to address these things in a more, like I said, nurturing way. So let me ask you something. If you knew what you do today for your diet could affect you in 10 years in a drastic measure, would you do it? If somebody told you that a diet could totally change the scale that you stand on to measure your self-esteem, but your hair will fall out and your kidney functioning could suffer for years to come, would you do it? What if I told you that following my teachings just 80% of the time could rejuvenate your hair cells, improve your kidney functioning, improve your heart health, improve your metabolism, improve your overall life outlook, hopefulness, and more? But perhaps the weight loss will come after the healing. Could that convince you? Because the future you, the 10 years from now, you will thank you for it. Because true weight loss comes from healing. So I've heard in the diet world a lot that short-term pain for long-term gain. You hear this in the fitness world, you hear this in the dieting world. Short-term pain, meaning starvation and hunger and frustration for long-term gain. But I think it's the other way around. I think it's exact opposite. Short-term gain, loss for long-term pain, impairment of our natural functioning hormone and organ system. Thought I heard my dog in here. That just freaked me out. So some diets that I'm thinking of are Optavia, and you see MetaFast, keto, intermittent fasting in some ways, carnivore diet, low carb diet, high protein diet, and weight loss drugs like the diabetic drug that we've been hearing about as of lately. Can't even think of what it's called now, but we've been hearing about people going to great extents just to see the scale change. not even caring about what's happening in the rest of their body, what's happening on a cellular level, what's happening on a mental and emotional level. I told you I was going to get passionate about this because when people come to me for weight loss, I have to ask them, when did this start? What other symptoms are you experiencing? Are you constipated? Tell me about your bowel movements. Tell me about your sleep. I have to paint the whole picture in order to help them achieve something that they want so desperately. But it doesn't work from skipping from A to Z. Okay, so we're going to talk about B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z. And we're going to do this briefly because I don't want to just talk your ear off. And my voice hurts because it's basketball season. So they work, these weight loss diets and drugs work. Ozempic is what it is called. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys love my passion because it's going to get more intense here as this conversation goes on. They work because they reduce your body's weight, suppress your hunger hormones, and sometimes even shut down messengers to our brain. They work at first because we are in a deficit, whether it be calories or water from carbs. But when our bodies go into scarcity mode is when you often start hitting those frustration points or what you would call plateaus. So what the diet does is not sustainable, in case you haven't noticed. What's worse than a plateau, because I know you guys have hit fitness plateaus, but when you hit a dieting plateau, what's worse than that is when you have no energy and you feel lousy, when you're constipated and you're not getting out the toxins that are building up in your body because you're constipated, when you have hair loss, sleep issues, irritability, temperature dysregulation, being freezing cold or hot all the time. Yes, that can relate to your diet. Fat cell retention, because what happens when our bodies go into scarcity and we have used all the fuel stored up in our muscles and our brains are being signaled that we are in starvation mode now, is that we start expanding our fat cells in order to survive. Our bodies adapt to what we are, the way we are living, okay? So this is the most important part of it. I'll get to the questions here, but let me get through this first because this is the most important part. And when somebody calls me, how I start is uncovering the cause of the root cause of the weight gain. So most people go into weight loss programs and they don't even think about the root cause. They just think about the end game, getting the weight off. But it's only relative if you're not addressing the cause of gaining the weight in the first place. See what I mean? It's like me and my immune system, for example. I've had immune issues my entire life, and it showed up in different ways, like, you know, with hives and shingles and Epstein-Barr and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until I did my root cause scan that I realized that this started when I was 8. So I can't address the problems at 38 if I'm not addressing the problems at 8. Similar to weight gain. If this started in your teen years, if this started in your early 20s, but you're addressing it now as, you know, a postmenopausal woman, then you have got to go back and figure out what caused it in the first place, okay? And I know this is hard, but it's also fun. We get to be like a private investigator into our own bodies. So when did the weight start? If it's 10 or more years, then chances are this could be hormone related, like insulin resistance. And if you're not addressing the insulin resistance, then again, you will still find yourself eventually pre-diabetic and maybe type 2 diabetic if you don't address the root cause. Or was this related to a trauma that occurred that set your weight off? Trauma causes major stress and major release of cortisol hormone to our bodies, and our bodies can be in like a fight or flight mode, and so it's going to cling to something that's comfortable that we've adapted to. Have we aged and we haven't kept up with our muscular skeletal strength? Have we not been lifting weights? Have we not been doing resistance training to keep up with the muscle degeneration that just happens with age? Sorry, folks, that happens. Because it is our muscles that help us burn fat for fuel during the day. So the big thing I wanted to touch on here is hormonal issues. And like I said, I took notes because I knew that this could be a very long conversation if I didn't stay on track. So bear with me here. Having regulated and balanced hormones help to improve weight loss potential. But this isn't just reproductive hormones. So many women come to me thinking they have a hormone issue with progesterone or estrogen, and they don't realize that we have all these little messengers going on through our bodies. And what happens with hormones is one comes high, the other comes low. It's like they're on a string and they go like that through our body, and they work as messengers from our I can't think of the word, from our organs, or our glands is the word, to our brains. So our hormones are in our glands and in small organs, and then they send messages to the brain. So they take direction from each other. It's one big interconnected system, just like our body. Our hormone, one goes up, one goes down, okay? So getting our hormones in balance is a huge part of managing our weight. And let's explore some of those hormones, because like I said, they aren't just reproductive hormones, but those are affected as well. So insulin. Insulin is our energy storage boss. Less insulin means more fat burning. And so we don't want our insulin up, working all day long. And cortisol can spur insulin as well as glucose. Glucose comes from carbohydrates. If we're not balancing our carbohydrates, then they can spike our blood sugar because we've released too much insulin. So we want to keep our insulin moderated. We want to just give our pancreas a little bit of love and nurture and say, we got you. So combine those carbohydrates with fat and protein. Start that today. Do that today, okay? Leptin, that is our hormone that says, okay, we are satisfied. You did the body right, okay? So leptin is very important. We don't want to turn this off though. Ghrelin, it is our hunger hormone. So a lot of times these like Ozempic and diabetic drugs or just weight loss drugs can actually just turn that hormone off. Does that work in the long run? That's like, an example is like birth control that turns hormones off and stops sending certain messages to our brain. And then all of a sudden we want those to work again and we get frustrated, right? So in order to heal our metabolic system in the long run, remember the 10 years from you, or 1 year from you, or 6 months from you will thank you for not turning off your hunger hormone. This is important. You have got to get in touch with your hormones. Don't turn them off. Cortisol is your survival mode hormone. You guys know this, fight or flight, being chased by that lion. We experience stress on a different level than our ancestors did. And a lot of times it's harder to turn off because we're not as active. So this is brought on by stress and promotes fat storage. Not only does it do that, but sometimes cortisol can, like I said, create an insulin release that is unnecessary. It's just a protection mechanism. Our bodies are so resourceful and they're so adaptive and they want homeostasis. And so they will protect us by creating other issues. Testosterone is fat burning and muscle building. Ladies, we need it. Okay. So don't think that testosterone is just for the fellas. We need it too. Estrogen, the female sex hormone, tells fat where to go. So if we have less estrogen, then that equals more visceral fat. And visceral fat is underneath the subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous is soft. Visceral is like hard. It's white fat and it's hard. And it's what makes you just kind of expand, but not be just like a butterball. That happens a lot with hormone changes. Excuse me. And then our thyroid hormones, these are really important too. Our thyroid regulates a lot. The T3 and T4 keep that metabolism revving and humming along. So keep those things in mind. When you're trying to discover the root cause of your weight gain, was it hormonal? Was it trauma? Was it stress? Was it just poor dietary choices, which is a huge problem in our generation? We've been way overexposed to ultra processed foods, fatty oils that are from the omega-6 sources. We have abnormal ratios of our fatty acids. And again, like a lot of it is really just lifestyle choices. So the difference between losing water weight versus sustainable weight loss. So often diets focus on just weight. If you see the scale budge, then that's how you define success. So much of the weight loss is from water that's truly just fluctuations, which is even more stressful. If it's not coming from our fat cells, it's going to disappoint us in the long run. This is why we see up and down on the scale when it's not related to our female cycle. Have you ever done a diet to the T, lost a great deal of weight only to see it spike back up after you started eating regularly again? The carb cutting craze is what is behind this. It feeds into water weight loss. Each gram of carb carries 4 grams of water, and water is our most abundant resource in our body. Our bodies are like 70% plus made of water. Our brains are, I think I read 80% made of water. Yet when we think of weight loss, we automatically jump to cutting carbs so that we can cut water weight. Guys, it doesn't make sense. And I'm so sorry that you've been lied to. But the biggest key here is that we need to reshift and readjust your thinking. So I'm glad you guys are here and trusting us with that. I have a hard time with my voice in basketball season. So what I wanted to get to today is the secret to sustainable weight loss. You guys excited? The secret is there is no secret. You have to work hard. Okay. So be prepared to take a step in a direction that it might feel uncomfortable and it might feel hard. One of the biggest keys is utilizing all essential nutrients. There is no scientific argument about what our 6 essential nutrients are. This is not to thrive. This is to survive. We need water, we need minerals, and we need vitamins. Those are our micronutrients. We need fat, we need protein, we need carbs. Those are our macronutrients. We need all 6 essential nutrients in order to survive. And then we need a certain ratio of them in order to thrive. And I want you guys to thrive. So the goal is getting our micronutrients from our macronutrients. That's not always the case. Obviously, we need to drink plentiful amounts of water. And oftentimes we need to supplement our vitamins and minerals, especially this day and age, because our soil just ain't what it used to be. So our CCM nutrition philosophy, I know a lot of people on this call know exactly what our philosophy is, and many of you are even applying it. But I want you to really, really lean into it and understand the importance of it. Our philosophy is eating within the hour of waking up. So that washes away the intermittent fasting. We don't care if you fast at night. We don't care if your fast is 12 to 14 hours from dinner to breakfast, but in the morning, ladies, especially, I'm talking to you ladies, because the gentlemen, they can be variants. And that's who studied in these studies. Women, we are not studied unless you're postmenopausal. You're not studied. And so don't do a diet that's not been studied on your age group. So eating within the hour of waking up, and then every 4 hours after that. So the goal is keeping your blood sugar stable, right? And I'll tell you why in a second. Not only do you want to eat every 4 hours and within the hour of waking up, but each meal, every time you eat a meal or snack, it should be a combination of carbs, fat, and protein. 50% carbs, I know, shocking in the dieting industry. At a minimum, 45%. Because it can always be a range. 20 to 25% fat and 20 to 25% protein each and every time you eat. Next time you grab an apple or banana by itself, realize that will be spiking your blood sugar and you will have too much insulin in your system. And even just that slight little fruit is going to cause you to store extra fat. It is not worth it. Have the protein on hand. Have a bag of nuts in your purse. Have a chopped beef stick in your car. It's not worth it. So combining your macros, keep your meal sizes consistent. I don't want to see 100-calorie snacks, okay? I want your meal sizes consistent. This will surprise you that when you keep those meal sizes consistent, you will see your body start burning fat as fuel the whole day long, and not just because of your workout, but because of the way that you're fueling your body through food. So no more little bitty snacks and gigantic meals. Meal sizes are consistent. In our program, the snacks look like snacks, but they are calorically the same size as meals. Eat 5 colors a day. We didn't even get into the micronutrient portion and the phytonutrient portion of this, but our 5 colors are what's going to be providing us our antioxidants, our prebiotics, aka fiber, our postbiotics that help us to improve our gut microbiome. Those are coming mostly from our colors. So it's really important. The best thing that we can create a variable of is our color intake throughout the day. So 5 different colors a day. Drink half your body weight in water. You guys already know that. And then this is the big one. Move your body how it feels good. If we are doing exercises that work for Sally down the street that hasn't hit menopause yet, but you have, it is going to hurt you. You need to make sure it feels good for you at the stage of life that you're in, okay? We shouldn't be doing the same workouts that our 20-year-old self did when we're in our late 30s. That's something I've had to tell myself a lot. So I'm looking in the mirror on that one. So the goal of our food philosophy and lifestyle recommendations is to maintain healthy insulin and blood sugar levels. When we have healthy insulin and blood sugar levels, we are burning fat for fuel all day long. So instead of losing water weight from a lack of carbs or a deficit, we are burning from our fat cells. So not only do you notice this, obviously, on long-term on the scale, but you notice this by looking in the mirror and watching your trouble areas sort of diminish down. When you see changes to your trouble areas, you know that burning fat for fuel is working for you, that eating for a stable blood sugar is your life diet, okay? By eating for stable blood sugar, we are going to have better moods. We are going to be more stable. We're going to have better cognitive function. We are going to just overall feel good. And feeling good is really the objective. And it's the thing that keeps us going and coming back for more. I want more CCN. So if that's you, and if that's what you're thinking right now, you can have more CCN. We are going to be addressing this. I have written, I think it's about 10 pages at this point, and we haven't even put graphics on it. Weight loss guide that is going to provide you supplement recommendations, further testing recommendations, breaking down these hormones and what could be the root cause of the weight gain. We are going in deep to help you guys really hone in on your wellness objectives for the year, okay? So I will take questions right now. I hope that you guys can join us because I know that weight loss is a complicated topic and subject, and I'm just so excited for you guys to break through and understand it better for yourselves and finally see those results that you want. So I am going to jump on some questions here, but I actually don't see them. I see that they've been asked and then I don't see where they went. Ashley, can you unmute and tell me where the questions went? I would love to answer just a few questions for you guys. I saw one, somebody said, I think, does your husband follow this? My husband is my worst client ever. Oh, here's chat. Okay, I see it. But yes, he does follow it. He's not as good at eating the 5 colors every day, but he absolutely follows my philosophy. Men can get away with intermittent fasting and higher protein fat. Less carbs. Women, we can't get away from it because we have to protect our hormone systems. And our hormones turn over every 28 days, whereas men's turn over every day. Lucky them. God just knew he was just going to make life easier for men. Let's go up here. I found the questions. Ashley said, welcome. So excited, so excited. Ozempic, love your passion. I lost weight fast with Optavia, but the weight came right back in some once I stopped eating their powdered food. Ashley Kara, last week I had a trip to the ER for abdominal pain, lower back pain. I was thinking kidney location. Kara just said something that made me think back, or made me think I should run my symptoms by you and see if maybe you all had, sorry, the message is like miniature. Let's see. Sky, go ahead and shoot us an email and we'll address it there. Somebody says, yeah, I think my weight gain when I was a teen was stress, poor diet when I was a teen, everything else Kara mentioned. Yep. And we have to go back and address that when it happened. And yes, the ratios do apply to men as well. They can do great on the CCN way of life, but you know, they don't have to be as particular. What are your thoughts on calorie deficit? Seems to be the only time I see the scale move and not sustainable. So if you were with us at the beginning of the call, calorie deficit is just a water weight drop. And water is obviously extremely important in our bodies. And what happens is when we start eating the calories back again, we will not only increase our weight back, but sometimes even more than before, because when we send our body into scarcity starvation mode, it has a harder time adjusting. And we've also messed with our metabolic systems, slowed them down, and told them they don't have to work as hard. And so then it takes more time to recover from a deficit than it actually does to eat the proper foods that help you burn fat for fuel. So the goal is to always be burning fat if you want to see the weight drop and stay off. So yeah, I know that sometimes it's nice to just see the scale move, but consistency. We cannot do something occasionally and expect long-term results. So is weight loss still possible if you don't follow the plan 100%? Absolutely. I don't think most people follow it 100%. We kind of go by the 80-20 rule. Even though I kind of hate that because it seems like a fitness term, but but really you should see results at following it 80%. But it really does make a difference when you can commit yourself mentally 100% and then give yourself grace when life happens. Is there a food that should be avoided for weight loss besides obvious things like alcohol and processed foods? So in our plans, we remove inflammatory triggers because a lot of weight loss, and I get down deep in our gut weight loss guide during the Fresh Start Challenge about the difference between inflammation and actual fat loss. So inflammation can store in our fat cells. It can store all throughout our body. But there is a difference that once we reduce our inflammation, we can see a great deal of weight loss just from decreasing inflammation. And some foods are very triggering, like alcohol, like sugar, like gluten, like dairy, for some people, corn. And so when we reduce these foods, we see our bodies being able to work to their higher potential. So somebody said, a trainer told me to aim for 120 grams, I assume, protein, making my macros 45, 30, 25 protein. Sure, if that's working for you, then I'm okay with that. That's not too extreme. What's extreme is when the fat or when the protein is higher than the carbs. That's what's extreme for me, and I'm not okay with that for women. Most trainers can be a little bit aggressive. What is a reasonable weight loss goal? So I broke down expectations in my weight loss guide, but a reasonable goal really is 1 to 2 pounds. If you want to burn fat and you want it to be gone for good, it takes a great deal of energy expenditure in the body. Think like ATP cycle and Krebs cycle. That can happen like 1 to 2 pounds a week realistically. But in the guide, I share like 4 to 8 pounds a month can make a big difference. But think like 6 months from now, that's like 30 plus pounds that, you know, wasn't even a painful experience to lose if you're doing it the right way. I feel like I'm addicted to all processed terrible food. I'm glad you said men versus women thing about, gosh darn it, I don't know how to make my chat bigger, but it's like miniature. About intermittent fasting. I lost 40 pounds doing that, but found it all again. Now my husband and I have started fasting again, but I don't think I'm going to let him do that alone. Or I think I'm going to let him do that alone. That's a really good idea. It's not sustainable for the long term. Where is the weight loss supplement guide again? So the weight loss supplement guide is actually going to be a part of the Healthy Heart Challenge. We don't actually feel super comfortable giving out supplements unless we know somebody is following our program, because supplements are supplemental to our diet and lifestyle choices. They aren't alone going to work and sometimes can cause problems. So the weight loss guide is a bonus yes, the weight loss guide is a bonus, but we will be talking about it all the way through. So it's not just one guide. It's like us providing the guide, holding your hands, answering your questions, making sure it's working, checking your food logs if it's not, that sort of guidance. But also we are going to be talking about sugar cravings and or cravings in general, and then sugar addiction, what that does to your body, how it starts. My personal trainer has set me at 40, 28, 32. Is this ratio too far off? I've been trying to balance CCN as well as the fitness side. I would not go under 45% carbs unless you're diabetic. Can you purchase the weight loss guide on its own? Eventually, the weight loss guide will be accessible on its own. But again, we don't like to make certain recommendations unless we know that you guys are following our plan. Excited for the challenge. I haven't fully completed one. You know what? Everybody's going to be on fire this challenge. I just feel like 2023 is a year that people are just like past the pandemic, past the stress of all of that brought, and we are fired up to really help you guys commit to yourselves and finish the challenge. Measure macros on a plate without actually measuring. Oh, what's a good way to measure macros? So I teach this a lot, but carbs, fat, protein, actually 2 thumbs, usually for a woman, is about the size of the protein you need. Eventually, oh yeah, okay. It seems I have been following on the wrong diets for years, and now I have almost 100 pounds to lose. Any additional advice for somebody who has so much weight to lose? Weights, resistance training, resistance training. That's my advice. And move your body every single time you eat. But obviously, I recommend CCN. Why aren't doctors educated to assist women patient in terms of healthy eating philosophy? I think doctors have so much on their plate, and what they're learning in medical school is medicine. And a lot of medicine is pharmacology, really. And so they don't have the expansion to educate on this. What they should say is that I can't educate you on that. You should go find somebody who can. The healthcare industry, standard care is really to take care of sick people. So when you have needs that are outside the realm of being super sick, then there's not a whole lot that they can do. Weight loss from thyroid out of whack. Once I determine this, any further testing recommendations? I can't get off the excess despite trying to follow CCN 80-20. Have you ever tried to follow it 100%? I wonder if that makes a difference. And again, in the weight loss guide, I do touch on this. I don't want to share too much because I want it to be completely relative, and we're going to move through the challenge and the guide at the pace that is necessary. Yeah, so I agree. Doctors don't really have time to educate on it. Any last minute questions? You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm so glad that we got to address this topic. I know a lot of you guys were eager to learn more, and I hope this was really helpful. Was this helpful for you guys? Somebody said, will the guide address men's weight loss? So the guide will address general weight loss, but we definitely mostly focus on women's health, as I don't care what politics tell us, men and women are very different on a biology level. And so diet and supplementation and that kind of thing matter. But in general, yeah, men's weight loss will be also addressed. I think the one thing I see the most in common with men and women is when there's a cortisol issue, a long-term cortisol issue that causes insulin resistance. And this can be kind of treated and monitored in the same way. Yeah, we will be sharing the video, so don't worry. You guys are awesome. This video will be popping in your email. Hopefully you can join us, if not for the challenge, maybe down the road. Thank you for letting me share my passion and hopefully educate you guys. Have a great Thursday, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care, guys.